So in the exam, they can also ask you to name accidentals that are used in music. The accidentals we have music, we have a flat, a sharp, and a natural, just like that, okay? Hello guys, how are you? And I hope this lesson finds you all well, and welcome to today's lesson. We are writing their music theory, but actually we are going to look at the music symbols mostly. Yeah, we have several symbols in music, and what I have here, the first slide, I have what we call the musical staffs, or in plural we say staff. You remember grand staff, where we join treble and bass clef staff? Yeah, apart from that we also have other staff, which is alto clef staff for alto voices, then tenor clef staff for tenor voices. This one is for soprano, this one is for bass, okay? So when we look at this one, all the voices represented, we have the first one indicated by this symbol here. We say this one is treble staff. Then this one with a question mark, like, we say this one is a bass staff, okay? These ones are the common to your level now. You need to familiarize with it too, but this one is additional just for musical concept and just to look like a pro. So to know that, we have other two which are new. They have alto clef. Alto clef looks like this, and when you look at them, the symbols are just the same, but there is a slight difference. The slight difference comes here. When you look at alto, it is starting from the second line, but when you look at tenor, it is touching the first line. But when you look at alto again, it is surpassing the fifth line, it's outside the line. But when you look at the tenor, it is just exactly touching in the fifth line. So that is the difference. This one fits the staff inside and touches all the lines, but this one starts from the second line and extends outside the fifth line. So we have the four musical staff. We have treble clef staff for higher voices, then lower voices we have bass clef staff, then tenor for alto clef for alto voices, then tenor voices, which we have also tenor clef staff. Then the next slide here, we have accidentals. Remember when we talked about accidentals, we have a flat, a sharp, and a natural. Of course, we say flat lowers the note by a half the value of the note, so this one lowers the note. Then when we look at a sharp raises the note, but by also a half the value of the note. But this one now, the work is to eliminate these two, the natural, to return the note into normal. So if the note is flattened and you insert a natural, the note will go back to the normal, to reverse it to normal beats. Then if a note is having a sharp and you insert a natural, it returns also the sharpened note into normal, like that. So I said we have, these ones are known as accidentals. So in the exam, they can also ask you to name accidentals that are used in music. The accidentals we have music, we have a flat, a sharp, and a natural, just like that, okay? After that, we come also to other musical signs here that are in the common one. I saw also a question talking about to name any musical signs that are used. And the first one, we have the 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 lines are known as staff, okay? You saw the types of steps we talked about there. They always comprise of about 5 lines and 4 spaces. So how do you define a staff? We say a staff comprises of 5 lines and 4 spaces in music. Just simple like that, okay? Then this side here, after the double end line, we have double end line, this one and this one. Then 2 dots. When we have this sign here, we mean this one is a repeat sign. A repeat sign means when you reach here, you go back to the beginning or where it will direct you to, then you sing the part that is there. Then now we have this one, a C with a head. A C with a head is known as a common time or allegoric. So we have a staff, a repeat, and a common time, which is also known as allegoric. Then the last slide here, I have several notes which are worth it, and these ones are common that you have been using in musical. And to understand music, you need also to know all these notes. Also to compose the rhythm and the melody, you need to know all these symbols here, which are very basic. And for those who live in Kenya, we always say in Kiswahili, asiyejua ngeli hajui Kiswahili. So in music, we also say that if you don't know these notes here and their value, you don't know music, because these ones are the backbone of music. And the first or the highest note we have here, this one is called a whole note. A whole note is known as a semi-brief, which is not written there, but you know that. Semi-brief is the highest note, and it is equivalent also to how many beats? It is equivalent to 4 beats. So whole note, semi-brief, 4 beats. Then a half a note, it is called a minim, and a minim has a head and a stem. This one is known as a stem, but the head is not shaded. So this one is equal to 2 beats, and it's a half the note, I have the value of the semi-brief. Then a quarter note is known as crotchet. This one is crotchet, and it also looks like a minim, but now the head is shaded. It has a stem as well. Then the eighth note, this one is known as quiver. Quiver is equal to a half the beats. Then the note, it has the head, which is shaded. It has the stem, and now it also has the, this one is known as a flag or a tail. Then the 16th note, which is known as semiquaver. The semiquaver looks like a quiver, but it has 2 tails. When you look at the last one, it has 2 tails or 2 flags, and it also has the head and the stem when you name the parts of that. So when we come back, these notes that I've mentioned, they have the musical rest. Musical rest, and we said rests are just silences in music. The silence in music. Remember, when we were defining reading, we said it comprises of the pattern of beats and silences. Beats and silences, or notes. These are notes which are beats, because we say this one is equal to 4 beats. So notes and silences, that's how we define it. So semi-brief, the rest of our semi-brief looks like this. A graduation count, those people who are graduating, they wear them. So if you remember that one, just know you are remembering the reading as semi-brief. Then the next one is a minim. A minim, it's like just the inverted rest of a semi-brief, but it looks upside like that, and it gives the vibe of a mountain, this one, like a block mountain or something. Then we have also a crotchet. A crotchet, we have this sign here. It looks like a lightning or something. Then another one, always like a inverted 7 like that. 7, this one looking there. Then looking the other side. Then the next one is a quiver. A quiver, you can see, it's just like 7, then with a head. 7 with a head, that's the 8th rest for the quiver. Then for the semi-quiver, just 2, 7, then you add another tail, just like 2 flags there, and to have the rest look like that. So all these that I have discussed, including this one and this one, all these one are the musical symbol. Musical symbol number 1, we said we have a treble staff, a bass clef staff, alto clef staff, tenor staff. This is how they look like. Then we come to the next one. We talked about accidentals. We said this is a flat, lowers the note by half the value. This is a sharp, raises the note by half the value. Then this is a natural, which also returns the note to normal if they are affected by these 2. Then I came to these also symbols. We say this is a staff, comprises of 5 lines and 4 spaces. Then a repeat, which tells you to go back to the beginning. And we have a common time, which is also known as parabrief. And the last one, we have semi-brief with the rest of the semi-brief, minim, the rest of a minim, crotchet, the rest of a crotchet, quiver, the rest of the quiver. Then final, we have semi-quiver and the rest of the quiver. Thank you for your time and watching this musical lesson up to this point. I have been your teacher, Sam Martins. Make sure you subscribe, you share this channel with your friends so that we can also benefit in music together. Thank you for being there.